What is up, YouTube? This is Barn11970. Thank you for watching my video. It's been a little while. I just want to let everybody know that I am okay, nothing wrong, no problems, anything like that. Just decided to take most of the summer off. I've been basically spending my time doing a lot of my orgone pyramids, making necklaces, keychains, all these different things. So if anybody's interested in that, just contact me and I'll tell you how to get there. But I knew, like I said earlier before the summer basically started, that gold and silver was going to stay stagnant for most of the summer, and that's pretty much what it did. Well, then I was telling people to watch out near the end of the summer towards anywhere towards September, and you're going to start seeing noticeable changes. And obviously, you could see the days of people saying the $15 silver, the $10 silver, the $5 silver, the $900 gold. They're still waiting for those to happen. So I've yet to see anybody that was making those claims telling me I was, crazy about that, saying that they might have been wrong. Well, as we see today, and it actually shocked me, silver is over a dollar, almost $1.12 right now. It's basically about to hit $23. We have gold right now up about almost $25 at 13.62. Now, I was telling people that we were hitting rock bottom, or at least close to it, when it was in the upper 18s for silver and the 1100 for gold. And if you bought at that time like I did, well, you're pretty happy right now. Now, keep in mind, like I've always said, the manipulation goes both ways, so you have to understand that they're still in this game. But I want people to know the more you research, the more you understand why things are happening. And the one thing I've noticed through the research is, if you notice, back in 2011, when gold spiked to approximately a little bit over 1900, that's when Hugo Chavez was asking for his gold back from his country in Venezuela. Then you started seeing a dip at that point. It stayed stagnant for about a year. And then when you saw that dip this year, earlier this year, that's when Germany was asking for its gold back. Now, if you're the Fed, or if you're JP Morgan, or if you're part of the COMEX, and you know you don't have any of that physical gold you claim to have because you've basically sold it to other people, basically what happens is they get the gold from the big banks, the big boys, and they turn around and take that borrowed gold and they sell it. That's like you having a car that you borrowed from a friend and turning around and selling it. It's not exactly ethical. So because they sold all that gold and they don't have it, that's why they've been basically just manipulating the price with the paper market. Because they say they have so much gold, but they don't prove it. That's why we haven't had an audit in Fort Knox since 1974. There's a reason for that. It's because they don't have the gold. They just say they have the gold because they show these SLV and GLD shares. SLV being silver, GLD being gold. So they pump all this paper into the market. Now, if you're those people and you're trying to get the gold back because they've told Germany it's going to take 7 years. Now, Hugo Chavez asked for approximately 99 tons of gold, which is a lot. But Germany asked for 350 million from France and 350 million tons of gold from the New York Fed. So that's a bigger significance of gold. Now, they took months to be able to give the gold back to Hugo Chavez. They're saying it's going to take 7 years. Now, if they had the gold, why would they take 7 years? When Mike Maloney said it would take basically 3 747s to fill up with gold and it would take 1 day to ship it. Think of it logically. They don't have it. So they have to get it. Now, if you know anything about extremely wealthy people, they're also extremely cheap. They don't like to spend lots of money on things. They like to get things at below wholesale and retail prices. So think of it this way. They can manipulate the price by flooding the market with the paper gold. That actually lowers the price of not only the paper gold, but the physical gold. It gets people nervous and they start selling where they could buy back the physical gold so they could repatriate it, or whatever the hell they do with it, and give it back to Germany. So they're taking 7 years to get gold that they're just going to give away, which means we don't have the gold, and even when we get it, we're giving it away. So as you can see, the whole thing about investing is you're supposed to buy low and sell high. But you notice when it was at its lower points, people either hated it, they ignored it, or they panic sold. So they were doing quite the opposite of what they're supposed to do, which is buy low. And that's a mistake I made back in 2011 before I knew what I was doing. But I'm looking at this in the long haul, so I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about cost average. I made my biggest purchase ever on this dip when silver was below 19 and gold was around 1250. I bought it at. So I didn't get the absolute bottom, but I'm not disappointed right now, especially since the prices now are higher than what I paid for. So if you ordered a couple of weeks ago, you're very happy right now. But this is just the beginning. And that's why I say to people, watch out for September. I said this, and you could see some of my older videos a couple of months ago when I was talking about around September 21st. Around that time, it's a PowerPoint. Now, some people say, oh, what is that, magic? Is that devil worship or some kind of superstitious stuff? You have to understand something. When they talk about things like energy and they talk about planets and they talk about energy points, I'll give you a prime example. When there's a full moon, now how many people say, oh, the people get crazier at a full moon? Well, the reason is when you have a full moon, the magnetism that comes from the moon actually affects our bodies because we're electrical creatures. We have water and we have electricity. That's our nervous system. And if you've ever put a magnet near an old television, you could see it'll actually pull the colors. So magnets affect electricity. So when there's a full moon, there's more magnetism. That's why there's a higher tides in the ocean. That's why our brains kind of act a little scrambled at full moons. If you've ever been in the sun for too long, the light can burn your skin. So it proves that energy can affect us. Now, when they talk about the planets and the stars and those things, because of the fact that our planet is circular and it's spinning on a rotation, and our planets are spinning on a rotation, and our galaxy is spinning in a spiral rotation, and our universe is spinning in a spiral rotation, everything goes in cycles. Like, for example, every morning the sun is going to rise, and then every night the sun's going to set, and the next day it's going to start over again. It's because it's a cycle. That's why we have daily cycles, monthly cycles, yearly cycles, etc., 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 until you get to the great years and beyond. So when they say there are PowerPoints, energy affects us. Light can change DNA. That's how we've grown as species from whatever we started as to what we are today. And that's why if you've been exposed to radiation, it can affect your DNA. Now, energy comes from the sun, it comes from the planets, and it comes from the stars. Now, the stars are farther away, but there's billions of them out there. It takes longer to travel, but we're always being bombarded by some forms of radiation, some forms of energy. Some is good for us, some is bad for us. So at certain times of the year, because there are cycles that occur all the time in the universe because of a spiral rotation, you can know that certain points there's going to be different levels of angles of planets, of stars that are bombarding us with energy that can affect our DNA and our personalities. So if you look at it from a scientific point of view, it's not superstition, it's not magic. These are things that people have known for thousands of years. That's why the people that were even musicians, they were mathematicians, there were some they studied the stars, they studied the charts, they studied the planets, because they know they affect us. You just can't see it. And most people think it's crazy because they can't see it, feel it, taste it, or touch it. Well, go in your garage, and I don't recommend you do this, but go in your garage, turn on the car, shut all the windows and doors, and see if that carbon monoxide that you can't see, smell, taste, or touch isn't going to affect you. It's like anything in the world. Stand next to a microwave and turn it on all day and tell me it doesn't affect you. Things will affect you even if you can't see, feel, taste, or touch. So when I talk about PowerPoints, like around September 21st, and when I talked about that one in July 21st, and the day before we had that dip in the gold, there are certain times of the year that powers that be that study this stuff for centuries know that because of the alignment of planets and their magnetism and their pull and the radiation levels of different times of the year with the stars and the sun, it's all about positioning, can affect us. You just don't see it. So that's what I talk about. So they know about these things, and that's why you'll see wars primarily on specific time periods. You'll see crashes, like the stock market crashes, tend to be around the specific time periods because they know more than we do. So whether you believe in it or not does not change the fact that these things happen. So be on the lookout for significant changes around September 21st area. Could be the day before, could be the day after, could be the day on, but somewhere in that area. And again, because of the fact I am not part of the manipulation and knowing what's going on, I can't tell you specifically what it is. But you'll notice around that time there'll be some dramatic changes that will be noticeable. What that is, remains to be seen. So as of now, we're seeing some nice spikes in gold and silver. I expect another dip to be coming because, they're not done getting the gold for Germany yet. So they want to get people's confidence back in, because you'll notice when it rises, and right now silver just hit 23, that as it rises, people start buying again. Again, they're not buying low and selling high. Most people base it on emotion, and they wait until everybody else joins the bandwagon before they want to join in. So those people are the ones that are raising the price, paying more money, and then ultimately, if it drops, they panic and sell it. Makes no sense. When you have physical gold and silver, you can hold on to it. When you play the paper game, you have to worry about making sure you have stops at the right time, making sure that you have your margin calls paid. They screw you at that as much as possible. So if you have the paper game, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble with these major moves. If you have the physical, you don't have to worry. You just sit back, watch the game, and wait until it's your turn to play. That's exactly what I'm doing, because we haven't seen anything yet. You think these prices are nice? Wait for another couple of months or so. Right now, they're just going to basically pull the chain a little bit until Ben Bernanke steps down and they have the next Fed Reserve chairman who probably may talk about tapering the money, which, will lower the price, because the morons out there in the world will believe anything they're told. And when the reality comes that they can't do it, eventually people are going to wake up. And when they discover that we don't have the gold that we say we do, and our money has been backed by nothing since 1971, the game is going to be over. And you think you're seeing big moves now, just wait. So I'm just stating my opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, that's not for me to worry about. I'm here for people who are feeling the same resignation that I am, and they see it the same way I do. For those who don't, keep thinking there's going to be $5, $10 silver. Keep thinking there's $900 gold. Keep waiting for it, because you're going to be waiting a very long time. Thanks for watching, guys. Good to see you guys again. Leave a message after the beep, and have a great day. Peace.